Hello, welcome to episode number, I believe it's 393 of the TEW Challenge Run. We're here for the second episode of the relaunched ECW and the second show on the road to SummerSlam, which is on week 3. Yeah, so we're going to SummerSlam at the start of September. You know, a little bit far behind, but you know, we'll try and catch up. But yes, last week we saw the big cliffhanger ending, the Bloodline back here on ECW. Paul Heyman's master plan to bring the Bloodline back to WWE after they were banished from SmackDown back at Judgment Day. And we have a big main event tonight. It will see Damian Priest first off his turn on Dolph Ziggler and the Grand Jury last week, taking on Cesaro, with what I'm told are ECW Championship implications in that one. And of course, last week saw the return of Rob Van Dam. We saw Liv Morgan and Julia be set for the ECW Women's title, and a whole lot more to come here tonight. So without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the second episode of the new ECW. The show kicks off with a recap of last week's ending, and then the Bloodline come to the ring. I know this doesn't feel any different, but that's the whole point. And then Roman goes, "Oh, Philadelphia, acknowledge me." He goes, "So, it's been a while, you know. I felt the void here in WWE over the last, 3 months? Since Seth and Solo and Jacob banished the Bloodline from SmackDown, you know. How you guys been coping without us on your show? But you see, Tribal Chief, he's been off. He's been doing family business. He's been doing Bloodline business. And now, we're back. We're back here. Paul, the wise man, made us a whole new show where the Bloodline can continue to dominate. At least in theory," he says, and he turns to Jimmy and Jay behind him. He goes, "In theory, the Bloodline are taking over this new show. But in practice, that may be a little bit more difficult. Because in practice, the Bloodline shouldn't even be on this damn show. The Bloodline should still be on SmackDown. The Bloodline should still be running roughshod off of that roster, but we're not. And whose fault is that? It ain't my fault. It ain't the wise man's fault. It's you." Pointing at Jimmy and Jay. He goes, "Last time I checked, you two were the ones who lost us that match at Judgment Day. I see you two, you took it all in. The Usos were bowing out of SmackDown. They thought they were bowing out of all of WWE, but not me and the wise man, no. We knew from day one that there was a chance that you two would do what you two do best, and that's screw it up for the Bloodline. So we devised a plan B. And now that plan B's coming to fruition, and we're now the kings of Extreme. But Jimmy, Jay, I need you to apologize to me. Taking away 3 months of me rolling my kingdom because you decided you were going to lose to Seth Rollins at Judgment Day? That ain't going to fly round here, Oos." And then I imagine Jimmy and Jay, Jimmy takes somebody and goes, "Oos, come on, man. No, we're a family, you know. We ride together, we die together, Oos. You know, one of us lost, we all lost." And he goes, No, I don't think you get this. I didn't lose. You lost. Now apologize to me." And I imagine he goes, "You know what? Get down on your knees and beg me to keep you a part of this Bloodline. Because if you don't, I'll take care of business right here, right now." Out comes Warden. And he goes, "Roman, you know, I see you've got problems here. And trust me, you can get to those in the back. But the last thing these people came to ECW to see was more of your family drama bullcrap. See, what they came to ECW to see was new faces breaking out. What they came to ECW to see is top guys getting the opportunity they deserve. What they came to ECW to see was the new face of ECW, and Roman Reigns, that face ain't yours. That face is mine. And then Roman just laughs. He looks at Heyman. He's like, "Wise man, who is this?" And Heyman takes him and he goes, "With pleasure, my tribal chief. You see, the man stood in front of you, Warden, is one of the biggest beasts in the entire WWE. Hell, this man beat my old client, Brock Lesnar, back at WrestleMania. So when I knew that the chance to bring my vision to ECW to life in the modern day, I knew a guy like Warden would be a guy that I could build the entire show around, obviously behind my tribal chief. So, Roman, you, my tribal chief, are the top face here in ECW, but Warden is another one of the top faces here in ECW, because I may be more than just a wise man, I may be more than an advocate, I'm a businessman. And what I see here is box office. So, my tribal chief, you are looking at your opponent for SummerSlam, Warden. And one just sort of laughs at him. And then Roman just looks confused. It makes you confused and in shock. He's like, "Oh, wise man, you didn't think to run this by me? Huh? You make it, oh, because you got your show back, okay? Because you won the show back and you gave me my job back. You think you got power over me? Huh? You think you call the shots around here? Well, wise man, I'll deal with you in due time. But now this kid needs to learn a lesson. Because I don't see the face of anything in front of me. I see a Roman Reigns wannabe. And at SummerSlam, the tribal chief's going to put you in your place. Behind me." Roman Reigns, he sticks the ones up in the air. The Usos probably do it too, but like delayed. But yeah, we've got Roman Reigns taking on Warden at some, I guess, unofficially, to crown the face of the new ECW. Roman Reigns versus Warden at SummerSlam. But yeah, a lot of shit to unpack from that opening segment. Now on to your regularly scheduled, not like Raw and SmackDown programming. 80. Holy shit. Another Rob Van Dam match. This time he faces Roddy. Match goes 8:38. RVD wins. 5-star frog splash. RVD gets a 67 and a 76 for Roderick Strong. Roddy doing his job well, carrying RVD, who was tiring because his stamina's like quite bad. So yeah, but Roddy carried him to a 80, which is a good match considering the 2 ratings they got. And yeah, welcome back to our another win back on ECW for RVD. Welcome back, Rob. And then after the match, we go to like an ad break and we come back and he's in what I've dubbed the press box interview area with Mackenzie after the match, talking about his return to ECW. And he says, "Oh, once I heard Paul was running back ECW, obviously a brand, a company very dear and dear to my heart. I knew I had to be around there, Mackenzie, and let it be known, Mr. Tuesday Nights ain't going anywhere, and he's gonna be ECW champion once again." And he's jumped from behind by Karrion Kross, who attacks him. He goes, "Huh? You think you got lucky, kid? Got lucky last week. You think you're more extreme than me? Think you're more badass than me? Huh? I live and breathe extreme. You're an old past and has been. Next time, you won't be so lucky. Count your days, old man." And Karrion walks off as Mackenzie calls for doctors to come and check on RVD. We then get another hype video for Blair Davenport. We're probably even talking over this one, saying, "I'm Blair Davenport. I came from NXT UK. I was in Stardom. I did this. Last week I made my emphatic debut here on ECW, and I'm here to bring a new touch of extreme violence to the ECW women's division, and I'm not going to stop until I'm at the very top." Stuff like that, generic Blair Davenport wording. And she gets her next match in, which is against Millie McKenzie. They're both unimportant, unlike Yoko last week, but I couldn't keep feeding her important people, so, eventually she's got to start carrying, and they don't click, so that's fine. But it still goes 6 minutes 42, because even for a squash, Millie McKenzie, she's in NXT UK, and she's sort of like that international young flair, so she's the sort of person that could get the outing on ECW. You think, like, random Dynamite, like, quote-unquote squash matches, where they bring independent guys in, and they have a decent showing anyway. That's sort of like what I'm going to do with developmental people on ECW. Like, they're not going to be actually part of the roster, but they're going to get the opportunities to have, like, decent matches. And Blair wins. She gets a 49, and Millie gets a 32. And yeah, and just another win for Blair Davenport to establish her on the ECW women's roster. Speaking of establishing people on the ECW women's roster, Rishi Shotzi. She's watching, like, she's in a dark room, watching footage of the 4-way from last week where all the weapons and shit was used, and Heyman's voice comments go, who wants to be extreme enough? Who wants to do this and be extreme and shit? And then we see her getting attacked by the kendo sticks and the chairs, and I think she was the one put through the table by Liv, and Shotzi's just laughing. She goes, you want extreme? That I didn't get the message in time, I took it easy on the rest of those girls in that match, and that's what cost me my opportunity. But now, you want extreme? I'll give you extreme. No more holding back. No more happy-go-lucky Shotzi that you used to know. This Shotzi is going to be extreme, and she's going to prove that she's the new face of the women's division here on ECW, because I've never felt more alive. I've never felt more at home. And there's nothing I won't do for this brand. And then she grabs a razor and shaves her hair off. Yeah. We need to get Bald Shotzi in. And instead of having, her go insane because Bayley cut her hair off, she can just... That's her way of getting more extreme. So yeah. Just a quick segment. Shotzi saves her head, basically. If there was still a note for that, I would have put it in there, but apparently not. Also, I think that might keep her bald forever. And I'm not sure how TEW works with, like, hair shaving thing. Because I know it has the option to be bald, but then if you shave someone's hair, I don't know if they stay bald forever. Whatever. She'll have a new picture next week. That's all, basically. We then see the press box. This time it's before the match with MVP and the Hurt Business, and Mackenzie goes, I guess at this time, MVP and the Hurt Business. She goes, ECW is a transfer of fresh new start for the Hurt Business once again. I know you've had several new fresh starts at this point, and MVP just looks at her and he goes, gestures to get the microphone back, and he goes, Mackenzie, wasn't it? She goes, yes. She goes, Mackenzie, shut your dumb ass up. Listen here. This man behind me, the almighty Bobby Lashley, he's been extreme before. He's been ECW champion. And now Heyman's going to bring back ECW, the first person he called the almighty Bobby Lashley. Okay? Because guys like him and Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes, they live extreme. They bring that new extreme fighting style to this brand. ECW is constantly evolving. It used to be all about blood and hardcore. Then it was about rising stars. Now it's about international flavor. Well, I'm here to give you a taste of what the real new ECW is going to look like, and that's Hurt. That's real wrestling. That's fighters like Ronnie Hughes, like Damon Kemp, and like the almighty Bobby Lashley. So stay tuned. And he walks off, and then the match is against Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. Match gets a 73, which is, I guess, fine, given the people involved. Yeah, Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes do pick up a tag team win. They beat Cedric and Ali. Ronnie Hughes pins Ali with a flash pounce. 57 for Damon Kemp, 70 for Ronnie Hughes, 87 for Ali, and a 74 for Cedric. And yeah, could this finally be the relaunch of the Hurt Business that takes them to the next level? Who's to say, because they're probably running out of opportunities, realistically, and that's on me, not on them. They've just never really been an act I've booked properly. So ECW felt like the best. Well, part of it was like the back end of the SmackDown side was I knew they were going ECW, so I didn't really like try towards the back end of the SmackDown one. But yeah, just in general, they've been sort of very, very mishandled by me, and I'll throw my hands up in a minute. But hopefully now we're going to try and get them cooking over here. We then cut to Zion Quinn. He's in a hotel room or something. And he goes, last week, you ECW nerds, you ECW virgins, you're the same people who liked ECW back when it first started. You still haven't touched a boob since. Yeah, you got the first taste of what an alpha male is like when Zion Quinn graced your screens. The Big X Zion Quinn. And now, while you betas are off living your sad, pathetic lives, watching wrestling on the television, I'm living my best life. I'm out here in my Romanian home, chilling, smoking cigars, just women just round the corner. Life is good when you're the Big X. And then hear a knock on the door, and he goes, "Oh, that'll be my pizza." And then in walks Hank Walker, who's called Hank the Pizza Guy. He's got a tag that says, "My name is Hank." He's got a little pizza. He delivers the pizza, and he reads the name, and he goes, "Hank, you seem like a beta kind of guy." And Hank's like, "Thank you." And he goes, No, it wasn't a compliment. It was an insult. You're poor as well because you're working a pizza delivery job. So feel free to take in the scenes of this house because this is what a true male looks like. And if you work hard and you try your best to improve your life, Hank, one day you might be able to live the life of luxury that I live. Okay?" And Hank goes, "I'm here to deliver you your pizza. Can I go now?" He goes, "You know what? Here's my card. If you follow the advice, on that card is a link to a YouTube channel with me, all of my advice to you. Follow that advice. Maybe you can become a Big X one day too." And Hank goes, "Well, thanks, but no thanks." And Zion Quinn goes, "No thank you. For that, you're not getting a tip. Okay. Terrible service." He kicks him out. And he goes, "And I was saying, when I make my debut on ECW, everybody else on the roster will feel inferior to me because I am Zion Quinn, the Big X. And life is good when you're me." AE2. Yeah. A little bit of history here, 2 full members of the grand jury going at it. Julia beat Scarlett. Julia's back. This is her first match back since she got injured. Heyman announced last week because she was still owed that women's title opportunity from Evolution that she'll be fighting Liv for the ECW women's title at SummerSlam. And Julia beat Scarlett 13:04 diving crossbody. 78 for Julia, 71 for Scarlett. They don't click, but 82 still good considering. After the match, though, Julia's leaving, and then Damian Priest, King Cobain, Nevis, and Frost come out. And Priest looks at Scarlett in the ring, and he goes, "Scarlett, babe, we've been through a lot together, me and Juju. The grand jury, it was one of the most dominant factions on SmackDown, and we were gonna have such a great time taking over ECW together, but you stuck by Dolph Ziggler. You see, Dolph Ziggler, he's not been relevant in, a decade. Okay, yet he was the guy entrusted to lead this group to new heights. Okay, we've seen Dolph Ziggler's heights, okay? It don't get any higher than Dolph Ziggler's already been. It was nowhere but down. But with me at the helm, and Ken and Emerson by my side, there's nothing that we can't do. And I'm gonna prove it tonight when I beat Cesaro, and I punch my ticket to SummerSlam to become the first ever new ECW champion." And then I imagine that we cut from that, like he waits for Cesaro in the ring, and we cut to ads, and we come back. Julia's in the press box with Mackenzie. She goes, "Julia, won the right to face Sasha Banks at Evolution. That got taken away from you due to an unfortunate injury, but now you're back here. Heyman's given you the chance to right that wrong at SummerSlam." And Julia goes, Liv is a great competitor, but I will win. I'm the embodiment of ECW. Liv thinks she's extreme, but new ECW is built for me." And then Liv flies in from off screen. She pounces Julia, jumps on her, starts raining punches down. She goes, "You don't think I'm extreme, huh? You don't think I'm extreme? I can go extreme." And then, imagine there's some, elevated platform that Liv climbs up on, and she does a crossbody off it, taking Julia down. And Liv screams when security like pull her away and shit. But Liv going a bit insane. And speaking of, that then leads us to the confirmed match for SummerSlam. It will be for the ECW Women's Championship. Liv Morgan and Julia going one-on-one to determine, I believe, the inaugural ever ECW Women's Champion. I can't remember if there was one. It might be called like the Queen of Extreme or something. But yeah, at least at this lineage, it's the first ever ECW Women's Champion. But that's not all, because the Tribal Chief is back and he's headed to the Tokyo Dome, where he and Warden will duke it out, two heavyweight horses with the right to be the new face of ECW on the line. The Tribal Chief and the War Dog one-on-one in Tokyo in just over 2 weeks' time. 86 rated main event. That's fine, we take that. Yeah. Damian Priest does beat Cesaro. 21 minutes 19 with a South of Heaven. 82 for Priest, 92 for Cesaro. And yeah, just a standard, big, long ECW TV main event. And then after the match, Damian Priest is celebrating when Heyman's on the Tyrantron. He goes, "Priest, congratulations. Your victory here in the main event of ECW did indeed grant you the right to go on to SummerSlam to try and become the new ECW champion. But, like I said earlier on, I'm more than just a wise man. I'm more than just a manager. I'm a promoter. I'm a businessman. I see box office. So, your opponent at SummerSlam, Damian Priest, Dolph Ziggler." And Priest goes, "What the fuck? Dolph Ziggler?" He turns around, Dolph super kicks him. No bandana. Just, normal Dolph. Not wearing the purple and black anymore. Dolph Ziggler actually super kicks him. He, pulls his jacket down to look, proper cool. And he leans over. Priest goes, "Huh? You thought I was the weak link, huh? You thought I peaked a decade ago? You think you can get higher without me? After SummerSlam, I'm going to be a reality check because people have been putting me down for years, DP. But at SummerSlam, you're the one who's going down, and I'm going to prove what I always knew. That DZ is that guy." And the show gets 87. Yeah, these in general are just a lot quicker to get through than Raws and SmackDowns, which is fine, which is why I know I had time to just do this today. And yeah, I really like the pacing of this show. The rosters probably might get a little bit bigger, when I do the complete draft. So, I don't know if it's still going to be this, or if it's going to be 2.5 hours, but I like the pacing of this show, specifically. And yeah. But what matters more, though, is what you thought of the show, so you let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'll see you next time for SmackDown, week 1 of August. On the road to SummerSlam continues. See you then.